My name's Kathy. You know me. I'm Angus's granddaughter, Kathy Murchison, and you are.
I'm Nora. Leonora really, but Nora. I was always called Nora.
And your full name?
Now,
No, your full birth name?
Margaret Leonora
Margaret Leonora Murchison.
Murchison.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got married and it became Ring.
And she got a very simple name.
Yes. Nice simple name like Ring. Right. and you are how young?
I'll be 99 in October.
My goodness, wow. Amazing. You look fantastic. So I just wanted to establish who you are and your relation to Angus Murchison, the longest lighthouse keeper. So he's my grandfather. And how are you related to Angus?
He'd be my first cousin once removed. He was my father's first cousin.
Oh, okay. So you've come into possession of this amazing artifact, this pocket watch. So can you explain a little bit about the story behind that, the history of the maritime history of the Murchison family?
Well, 1881 seems to be, but I can't remember what happened in 1881. But in 1891, this watch, let me see, the two brothers were drowned. Mm-hmm. One was Angus, and I can't remember the other one. And my grandfather and your grandfather,
great-grandfather, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Went and to identify the bodies, and he identified his two brothers, and they were quite young. I read recently, I think one was 23 and one was a little older than that, maybe 30, I don't know. And anyway, he said, but there should be a watch, and this is the watch.
And this is the watch that they recovered from the bodies?
Yes.
From the shipwreck?
Yes.
And so these two boys, were they brothers then?
They were brothers, and I think, as far as I know, younger brothers of Captain John J. He was actually John.
Because I had heard that there was sort of a when they established the settling here, that was kind of one of the deals, as the father said he's lost all of his sons to the sea. Mm-hmm. And that he wanted the one to settle here, and that he would help him get some land here. Is that
yes,
true?
Yes, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the details of it. But
that's what was sort of told to me as a child when I was growing up by my dad and my grandfather, that's why they settled in this area, was because they wanted them to give up the sea because they'd lost so many of their kids to the... Now, were they sailors on that boat, or were they...
I think there was... whatever staff, I don't know how they call this staff on ships.
Like a crew. They were part of the crew on that ship. Yeah. And where did that ship go down? Was it in the Caribbean or over here? Or?
No, I think it was off the coast of Newfoundland somewhere.
Off of Newfoundland, okay.
I think. No, I wouldn't want to be taken to jail if I'm wrong.
We won't do that. So how did you get in possession of the watch then?
Well, I got it through my father, of course.
Oh, okay. So he had it in the family history.
He had it, and it was when he was in Chicago, he was at Moody Bible Institute, mm-hmm. and he brought a man into his room to explain things.
Yeah.
And he was called out, and while he was out, he came back. The man was gone, and so was the watch.
Oh, my goodness. So it was stolen.
It was stolen.
And how did you get it back then?
He went and found it in a pawn shop.
Oh, okay.
So he bought it at a pawn shop.
Yes, and it's got an inscription on it, doesn't it?
Yes, it has. I'll let you read it. You probably have better eyes than I have.
Let's see. Oh, my gosh.
Present it to
Captain F. Murchison of Point Prim, Prince Edward Island, by Major Captain...
Mrs. Captain, I think.
Oh, Murchison?
Yeah, she was captain.
So this was given to a Murchison by a Murchison?
Yes, but before that, of course, there's been, I don't know where, But I put down the 1881, and I don't know what I meant.
Yeah, yeah. So this was inscribed later on then, after?
Then the widow of the original owner gave it
Oh, I
to
see.
to one of the brothers.
So the widow of the man, the sailor that died,
Yeah.
gave it to this other Murchison,
Yeah.
Captain M. Murchison.
What is it?
Captain M, I
M.
think. M?
I
We'll have
I
to look
wouldn't
at
know
it more
who that
carefully.
was.
We'll have to look at it more
Relatives
carefully.
of our own, though.
Yes, it's amazing. Yeah, and it's very heavy. It's amazingly beautiful. We'll put that
Thank
back.
you.
Yeah. Well, that's a real treasure. And
Yes.
do you have any other stories that you remember about the lighthouse or about Angus or anything that you might want to share?
Probably a lot of them, but they're not coming to mind right
Yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah.
But I remember it was one of our treats to walk down the road, which I don't do anymore.
Yeah, well, we'll forgive you at 98 if you can't walk down the road. Some people a lot younger than you can't do that. But you used to walk down to the lighthouse?
Yes, it was just something we did, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And your Angus was your grandfather, right?
Yes, yes, he was my grandfather, yeah.
He would let us go up too.
Oh, yeah, see, I didn't, when I was young, he was not the lighthouse keeper anymore.
Who was Manson?
No, I think at that point it had been automated. Because I think they
Oh.
automated it in 63 and I was born in 63. So
I see.
we used to come visit
And,
him.
and then they didn't allow people up after that. Is
No,
that
it was all locked up.
Oh.
Yes, it was locked up then.
Oh.
So
We
didn't-
missed out.
Well, yes, I think sometimes we'd get up there on. I probably shouldn't have done that, but anyway, yeah, yeah. So, and tell me a little bit more about yourself and your life and what you've,
Well, I've told you my age.
Yes.
Most people don't like to tell their age, but I don't mind.
It becomes something you're proud of after a while, right?
Right. I used to come here to the Point every summer.
Uh-huh.
As far as I know, I don't know about when I was an infant, but I understand I came every summer.
And you're from New Brunswick, right?
I was born in New Brunswick.
Yes.
And I trained in the St. John Hospital. And I went to a Bible school in Hampton. And then I went to what was then the Yassaland and now is Malawi. And I was there 37 years.
As a missionary.
But I came home the first time, it was 7 years, and then it would be 5 or 4.
Wow, that must have been very interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was married there. And my husband said he didn't know the second language, so he didn't really know what he was doing. Because we married two weeks after he got out there.
Okay.
We were engaged before
Yes,
I came out,
yes.
and I was out almost 4 years before he came.
Oh, wow.
Because he was led to get further training, so
Okay, so you spent most of your adult life abroad then in
Yes.
Africa.
yes.
That must have been really interesting.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And then when did your husband pass away then?
We were married, he passed in I think it was 205.
2005?
Or it was, I'm quite sure it was 205.
And now you
February.
still come over every summer?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
He wasn't an Islander, though.
No.
He was a St. John boy.
Okay, so you had to drag him over here, did you?
No, he quite liked it
Oh,
here.
good, good. Yeah, usually when you come over, you fall in love with PEI.
Right.
That's right. Well, thanks so much for telling us the story about the watch. It's really beautiful, and it's such
It's a wonderful story.
yeah, and it's such a treasure to have in
Yeah.
your family. It's very lovely.
Yeah. Going down the road with a horse and wagon and his kids, some on the seat and some standing around. And
Oh,
they'd all go down
really?
to the lighthouse spend the night, I think, when he was keeper.
Yes, I heard from my father that he was very good at putting them to work.
Was he?
Yes. And when we went to the archives, Barb and I, to do some research for the lighthouse, it actually noted in there what a very immaculate lightkeeper he was. And I told my father that, and he quite laughed at that because he thought, yeah, he used to get us to polish all the
He's
lenses.
immaculate
He had a
because
little army of children working there. Yeah. Anyway.
Do you remember your grandfather? Hank?
Oh yes, I remember him very well.
And Gladys?
Yes, I remember Gladys not as
She
clearly.
predeceased him. Did she die?
Yeah, she died first, and I was very young, but I do remember her. I have memories of her. All my favorite memories of my childhood were all on PEI.
Were they?
Yeah. I mean, that's mostly what stuck out in my mind as
I guess mine were too.
Yeah, it's such a magical place here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nora.
There. Thank you.
Okay.